everyone. Hi.
Hello.
Ukrainian.
Hi, Andrej. Героям слава.
You know that with you almost so difficult to start the communication with Slovakian because you are in European Parliament. You are experienced Slovakian politicians, and I actually wanted to ask you first question about European Parliament, but first I want to ask about Slovakia. In Ukraine, we have a lot of some kind of doubt,
Concern.
concern, some kind of unpredictability concerning the future and the relation between our two countries. Slovakia help us a lot, and still I feel here in Bratislava the support of a lot of people, civil society. However, how you can estimate the current situation between our countries and what is happening between Slovakia and other European countries? Because just several hours ago, the Prime Minister of Czech Republic said that there will be some kind of suspension and cooperation between them. So what does it mean actually in European security system?
Yeah, good question, Andrej. And situation in Slovakia is not really easy right now. After this new government, completely they changed the rhetoric and the position towards Ukraine, unfortunately, in terms of proclamation, if there is no statement. On the other hand, so far, I have to say, there was no action against Ukraine on European level. Even current government, they supported start of accession talks, they supported 50 billion package, they support everything what is going on. There are many contracts supporting even ammunition, which is crucial now for Ukraine. So everything is going on, and on the European level, there was no change of position. But there was change of position within Slovakia, and it is quite dangerous. As the consequence, for example, of this position of Robert Fico and his government, the consequence is, as you mentioned, that there is a break between Czech Republic and Slovakia in terms of cooperation between governments, which is first time ever after split of Czechoslovakia. So this is serious. So even the policy of Robert Fico has the impact to our neighboring policy. We could see it also a week ago. There was the so-called V4 conference in Prague between prime ministers of Slovakia, Czechia, Poland and Hungary. And there was clear split in terms of positions, at least in terms of statements between Poland and Czechia on one side and between Slovakia and Hungary on the other side. So we can say that Slovakia, unfortunately, is moving a little bit closer to Hungary. It is similar also in terms of execution of power of current government. They are doing everything against free media. They are trying to go ahead with change of new criminal code. They are changing, or at least now proposing the change of having lower punishments for criminals, for corruption cases, which is crazy. You know, everybody is fighting against corruption, and this government is doing just opposite. And so there are serious issues, and situation is quite tense. There are many protests across the countries. I cannot imagine in Slovak history, in roughly 30 years of Slovak history, that after a relatively short term, after elections, people are on the streets. So country is split, country is divided. So Fico has still some supporters. He won elections, even with tight majority, but he did it. And on the other hand, he has a lot of opponents, and opposition is able to mobilize many people on the streets, and they protest against the change of his rhetoric, against the proposed changes in criminal code, against basically corruption of his government.
It's a system, yeah?
It is, yeah.
System.
And, you know, Fico is unfortunately Bolshevik. He is member of Communist Party since 1988, you know, and this is his view, that he admires autocrats, unfortunately, like Putin, Orban, and so on. And he doesn't see this danger of potential change of borders. And as we know, there are only two autocrats right now who want to change the borders, and this is Putin and also Orban. Orban maybe secretly, but he gives a lot of signals that he would like to come back to so-called Big Hungary, even towards Ukraine, towards Zakarpattia, towards Slovakia, towards Romania. It is very, very dangerous. Unfortunately, Fico is moving this way, but situation is not really hopeless. Situation still can change because we have strong civil society. You know, people are not changed. People do support Ukraine. People do support transparency. People do support free market economy, and we are a member of, fortunately, the European Union. Therefore, this point was discussed also on the European Parliament parliamentary session, with very strong signal from European Parliament, but also European Commission gives the signal, European prosecutor. So we use these European, say, legislative bodies to give the signal, because Robert Fico, as the Prime Minister, is also afraid of one thing: to not get European funds, because this is a very strong tool against autocrats. Like in Hungary, there is freeze of 20 billion euro, which should go to Hungary, but because of rule of law issues in Hungary, it is currently stopped. And there is a similar danger that it can be done to Slovakia. And this is why Robert Fico will not do anything extraordinary against European policy. So we have to understand that. But
I understand.
But the situation is not easy. And roughly in 2 weeks we will have presidential elections, and also it will be a strong signal for civic society and for Slovaks if there is a hope to change it.
Very interesting. Thanks that you explained not easy situation.
Not easy, but we will not give up. Like you are inspiration for us.
I know. Thank you very much, because actually a lot of Ukrainian experts and journalists, they analyze the situation mostly between Slovakia and Ukraine. But you explained now that there is a problems not only in this sector, there is a problems between relations of Slovakian government with other European countries, and there is a problems inside Slovakia.
Absolutely.
So it's a complex of problems.
Yes.
It's a kind of, I think, test for your country.
That's right.
For next months and maybe years. I don't know.
That's the test of democracy. You know, we are still young democracy. We are still learning how to use democratic tools. We are a country very young with 30 years of democracy, and you know, Slovaks, they lived for ages under somebody, under Czechs, under Hungarians, under Russians, and you know, we are independent only for 30 years, and so this is not really historical experience, and we are still learning, and this is unfortunately this price for learning.
We also learning from this European policy, and the second phase, this is also challenge the elections in European Parliament. I know that just you came from Romania, where your party have your traditional meeting. We discussed all political issues, the future program, the future steps. So how you see the topic of Ukraine on the eve of these elections? Whether it's foreign policy question, whether it's important or not important, or just I don't know, some temporal issue for European countries, or Ukrainian topic is very deeply inside national security question. It's a provocative question, but you know, I think Ukraine is not just a foreign policy problem of the European Union.
Let me put it in this way: it's a crucial question, because Ukrainian topic right now, it is existential issue for the whole European Union. So therefore, it is not only internal. Of course, it is internal issue, because the future of European Union will depend on the situation of Ukraine, how the situation will develop. Therefore, we need to provide all kinds of support to Ukraine, humanitarian, financial, military, everything. And still my feeling is that we are not doing enough. We should do more. Ammunition and money. Fortunately, we provided this 50 billion package after Hungarian veto. We broke it.
Thank you very much.
Sure. And EPP is driving force behind. You know, we have to understand that EPP, European People's Party, was the driving force for European integration and also for enlargement. EPP, Christian Democrats, they came with ideas to enlarge EU by Central Europe. So without EPP, Slovakia, Czechia, Poland wouldn't be the part of EU. Without EPP, Ukraine would not be part of EU. because we proposed candidate status, we proposed start of accession talks, we proposed this help. And those are personally Ursula von der Leyen, Roberta Metsola, Manfred Weber, and all politicians representing EPP. And if you ask about this Romania, we had just EPP Congress in Romania where Ursula von der Leyen gave the position to be number one for elections. So if we win as EPP, which is quite likely in European elections, so she will be president of the Commission, which is good news because her mind is very clear about help to Ukraine. And she understands this is an existential issue for all of us. So answering your question, of course, this is an internal issue and security issue for all of us. Therefore, also we discussed that our EPP Congress is priority number one support for Ukraine. And secondly, also to build defense union. We have to invest much more, not only into support for Ukraine, but also for building our defense capacity. Europe underestimated for many years our defense ability. You know, we lived like in the idea that nothing can happen, and honestly, our security, European security, is paid by Americans right now.
Don't you think
this is the issue, yeah. And it is not sustainable.
Ivan, don't you think that every country now has some kind of your own vision of the defense security? You should some kind of unite this.
Yes, but I have a good feeling about that. There is a common understanding that we should do more. Maybe some countries they invest more, some less. You know, Poland invests a lot, really. But also I have to say Slovakia and Czech Republic, they invest more. There is common understanding that we should do more, but there is common understanding that we have to cooperate more. This is also not only building defense unity, this is having commissioner for defense, this is talking about compatibility of our military equipment, and this is building our defense industry. And building defense industry, it is completely new challenge. Now we see, particularly in Ukraine, how military equipment are changing. Those are not only tanks and cannons, but those are drones. There are, and this is new equipment. Cyber war. It will be cyber war. There will be cyber attacks. There will be artificial intelligence used. So our learning is that we have to involve more and more small companies into defense union. We cannot build it only on traditional big giants. But we have to involve more SMEs. And this is my field because I also represent SME Europe. I'm the president of SME Europe. EPP is the only party having this organization for supporting small and medium entrepreneurs. And we established recently division like SME defense, particularly with the reason to develop also defense industry among small companies and to involve them. And this is also future big potential for cooperation with Ukraine, because as a matter of fact, now we have to learn from Ukrainians because they have the skills, they have the practice. We can provide money, we can provide resources, but in terms of experiences, skills, knowledge, now you are in much better shape. So this is potential big field for cooperation.
Thank you, Ivan, for your answers, for your support. I feel that Slovakians and Europeans in European Parliament, they really sincere pro-Ukrainian, and I really want to thank you that you explained that Ukraine not just a foreign policy, some outside problem. It's some kind of internal problem, a challenge for European Union, and your explanation of defense policy of European Union persuaded me personally that you regard Ukraine as a very important ally and maybe part of this system.
You are all that part. It is only a question of time when you will become full member. But already, I think this mindset is reality, which is good. That Ukraine is part of Europe, and this mindset is not only in Ukraine, which was there for many years, but this mindset is already new.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.